Hey guys, this is Miss Lana with Noble Root Herbs and welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to talk about Oat Straw today, which is also called Avena Sativa. And I use Oat Straw a lot with my remedies, formulas, whether that's on the skin or if that's in a tea or if that's in a tincture. And I want to talk about that. And I'm feeling kind of feisty and kind of Halloween-y today. So I put on my cat ears and my Halloween get up, feeling the fantasy. So Oat Straw, why it's amazing and why it loves everybody. So Avena Sativa loves everybody. It can have a small reaction with people that have like hay fever types of symptoms, or occasionally people with celiac disease or gluten allergies, but it's really a hit or miss, and it's a very small percentage. So I just want to disclaim that. It's a very affordable ally, and it's easily obtained, so you shouldn't have any problem finding it. And if you do, you can always call on an herbalist that maybe you know or just met. So why I love it and why I love using it for everybody that I make stuff for. So as just the oat straw, and you'll see here, is like a very tonifying herb, and is a de-stressor type of herb, and it's also very restorative, and it's also very rejuvenating. So it does a lot of amazing things, and I definitely encourage folks to do their due diligence when they're looking into herbs. Yes, the internet has a plethora of amazing information, but also picking up a book once in a while will serve you some good, because the person that's writing those books is very passionate, they're very knowledgeable, or it could be like they're, like they are the top dog of that information. So getting it from the mouth of the beast and hearing it firsthand sometimes is better than hearing it trickle down telephone style, if that makes sense. But I encourage you to do your due diligence. Oat straw, there's so many amazing things. Where do I start? It's with the nutrition, and I do have some notes here because I tend to get off of track quite regularly. Okay, so long-term energy supporting endocrine and nervous system. The nutrients found, it's a powerhouse of nutrients. It's up there with like nettles and alfalfa. This is like in the same genre of herb. Nutrients like B complex, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, and zinc. And that's another thing that helps people get more rejuvenation, especially if they're overworked or they have work burnout, whether they work in an office or in actual out in the field. This is a go-to, guys. This is a go-to herb, and I'll show you what this looks like if you can see it. Now, another interesting thing about it, and I'll just kind of show you. See, it is very much like straw, is it has a component called PDE4, and I'm gonna butcher what it's called, but it's phosphodiesterase, which is an enzyme, and the study suggests that the extract actually improved mood by inhibiting that enzyme. So go ahead and look that up, PDE4. That's the more sciencey stuff. I'm not a medical herbalist, so if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to find that here. So, but yes, it is used to relieve stress, anxiety, depression. Energetically, it is so soothing. It's up there with like rose and lemon balm. Metaphysically, it really does work with our heart and our throat center, relieving the stress of speaking our truth, relieving the pains and scars on our heart that we carry with us that almost become a burden because we need to either work through it or we need to let things go. So oat straw is an amazing ally for that. Mixing this with rose, bada boom, bada bing, you have a beautiful tea to drink. And I could go on and on about how amazing oat straw is, and some of the other cousins with it, or in the same plant, I should say, would be milky oat tops. And there's only a certain time of year that those are harvested. And the tops of the oats get very plump and they have a secretion that's very milky looking, much like the poppy. And when you clip those off during that time of year, and I'm not 100% on what time that is because each season's different in each hemisphere. Usually about the spring and summer times. And then spring and summertime, depending on where you live, and then going right before fall breaks, because harvest time, I believe, and don't quote me on that. So they trim these tops off, and then you want to tincture that right away. They do sell them in the store, the oat tops, and they say they're milky oat tops, but about 95% of the time they're just simply oat tops, and that's not saying that they're not as effective as milky oats. It's just milky oats have that secretion that has all the amazing properties that the oat straw not so much is lacking, but doesn't have as much of a concentrate as the tops do. So the milky oat tincture would look something like this depending on the season. You'll see it has like a twinge of brown, and sometimes it's a much darker brown depending on where it was harvested, the time it was harvested, and where it was growing. So just because you get a tincture from somebody and it's not super, super dark, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not effective. It could be a certain time of year that, however the plant was grown or the weather conditions, it didn't come out. It doesn't mean that it's not at full strength. It's just a coloration. Now, if somebody were to tincture something for 1 to 2 years, it's going to get really dark and it's going to be very, very potent. So the longer you keep a tincture in the cupboard, have it extracting and getting all those yummy volatile oils, the better. So the longer you let it sit, the better. Now, it is going to get kind of cloudy because of the matter. The plant matter is going to start breaking down inside of that tincture. And there's also milky oat seed, which is not a problem. It's just not a milky oat top, just FYI. It's very, very good too. And that is going to be working a lot with the stressors, anxieties, burnout. And what's really interesting about milky oats is it's, also oat straw, both of them really. There's the fascia underneath the skin, between the skin and the muscles. And somebody who's either been in a lot of accidents or had a lot of surgery or has had a lot of body trauma, this is an amazing, amazing ally to use. And then talking about oats, just regular oatmeal, whether they're steel cut or whole or quick oat, depending on how you like them, can be very, very calming. They're good for the digestive system. They're filling, so it's a whole food. It helps satiate appetites. And it's like tons of protein, tons of all the minerals, trace minerals that you could want and need. It's beautiful for the skin. Soaking in a bath of oatmeal is very refreshing and soothing and moisturizing. You know, it's no wonder when they feed horses oats, how much calmer they are, because you got to think of how hard a horse works when they're running or when they are working, helping a farmer sow and plow the fields, or if someone is riding on a ranch or just out in nature, how hard. You have to think about how a horse heart pumps, and when they're eating oats, how soothing. It's not just them stopping to eat, it's the oats literally calming and soothing their endocrine system and soothing all their organs and their tissue, because a horse is very, very muscular. So you got to think, if it's helping out a horse, it can help out a human for sure. So Avena Sativa is an amazing resource. I put it in just about all of the blends that I make. When you're making it into a balm, it makes your skin so silky smooth, especially when you're mixing with calendula. Oh my goodness gracious. It feels just like, it really does feel like silk once your skin sucks up all that yummy nutrients. It's an herb that you can take every day. You don't have to cycle out with it. That's another thing that makes it amazing. It's very cost effective, and it's just overall just a superhero to me. It's definitely a superhero herb. It saves the day, whether someone's having emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual upsets or dismay. If somebody has a lot of anger outbursts or frustrations, this is another great tea to brew or tincture to give them. If you're having a really rough time, especially with all things going on in the world, heat up a nice bowl of soothing, delicious oatmeal add some honey to that, because that's an amazing adaptogen as well. And overall nutrient, restorative, rejuvenative ally. Honey is amazing. And just drizzle that on there, baby, and eat it up. And you will feel so much better, because you'll feel full. You're not going to be stress eating. You're going to nourish your emotions with oats. You're going to nourish your soul with oats because of the energy it's giving off. You're going to nourish your mind. So, yeah, just eat your oats, man. If not, drink them. It's all good. So with that, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you dive in and do some research. And if you're not into that sort of thing and you want to know more stuff and more properties and more things about it, you can slide into the DMs. You can hit me up on my website. You can email me. You can text or even call me. Just give me some time to get back to you, because sometimes I'm busy, if you haven't noticed. And I'll be more than happy to share some information with you. Or if you can't find it, or you want a custom blended herbal, anything herbally goodness, I'd be more than happy and much obliged to go ahead and create that for you and get that herbal goodness out to you. And I do apologize if anybody's watching this. The last half of last month and earlier this month, I had a little bit of issue with my website, and I wasn't getting my email. So I'm really, really sorry to anybody who did email me. I tried getting back with a few of you. You know who you are. I super apologize. I was having an issue getting that communication. But I did send out some emails and some text messages. So hit me back. It's not a problem. I hope you can understand. And if not, it just wasn't meant to be, or not aligned, and that's okay. So with anything in life, whether it's your mental, your physical, your emotional, or your spiritual, just remember, and I say this in every video and I mean it, wellness always starts at the root. So have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.